Hey everybody, Mike here, and today we're going to take a little bit of time travel trip through the past. Just because I sell optics doesn't mean I don't like historic guns or shoot with iron sights. And we were chatting on Facebook the other day, and somebody said, a lot of people say you don't really need a dot. Like, I don't know if I really want this or not. What do I need a pistol dot for? You don't really need it. I'm good enough with my iron sight gun. I thought, why don't we address that? So today's video is how much is good enough? How fast do you want to go? And what do you really need? What do we need? We're going to go through the history of sight pictures a little bit, and we're going to start super old school. How old school? Well, let's start with an 1873 style single action revolver in 45 long Colt. This is a Ruger Vaquero. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the sights on each one of the guns I'm going to shoot today. We're going to start deep in the past with my cowboy gun, and we're going to do a standardized drill on the clock. So I'm going to do kind of a simplified El Presidente drill because I want it to be revolver friendly. An El Pres drill involves you spinning around, shooting 3 targets, reloading, shooting them again. We're going to skip the reloads because I want the revolvers to have some fun too. So I'm just going to do 2 shots, 2 shots, and 2 shots for a total of 6 rounds fired. And we're going to start out with this old revolver, and we're going to come all the way to the modern age today in this video. So stick with me. I think we're going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to go see how fast we can get on the timer as we progress through, starting with the 19th century and going all the way through the 20th century to the 21st century. How fast is acceptable to you? If you don't need a dot, what do you need? In fact, come to think of it, do you need to use the sights at all? Or can we just point shoot? Let's try it. Hey, wait a second. This doesn't feel right. I got an idea. Ah, there. Yes, sir. Much better. One of my favorite movie tropes is the cowboy that can draw from the hip and fan it and hits the bad guys every time without having to use the sights. Wouldn't that be awesome? Let's try it out. Who needs sights anyway? You don't need all that. You just fire instinctive from the hip, right? All right, here we go. 2 rounds per target, 6 shots total. Cowboy style. All right, Black Bart. Now you get yours. Nope. The last guy got me. Okay. That was harder than it looked. We're going to try it again we're just going to try it again. Here we go. 2 shots each target from the hip. Yeah, wow. Okay. Let's just keep it rolling. Let me show you something. Out of 50 tries, I've done this. That was attempt number 6 to do this drill for you on camera. So I've sent 5, 10, 15, 20, no wait, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I've sent 30 rounds downrange so far. Let me show you guys something. Let's look at the results. After 5 attempts, times 6 rounds each. I've got 1, 2, 3 on paper, 0 in the A zone. I have 1 in the A zone, 2, 3, we'll call that a line break, 4, 5, 6. And I've got 1 down here and 0 A zone hits. So after 30 shots fired, 30 rounds fired, single action only revolver, total hits on paper, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 out of 30 made it on paper. and 2 out of 30 made it onto the A zone, unsighted fire, instinctual point shooting. Well, that was disappointing. So I fired 30 rounds in an attempt to hit 3 targets. With unsighted fire, out of the 30, I had less than half of my rounds actually hit the paper at all. And 2 rounds out of 30 tries, 30 shots, were actually A-zone hits. So clearly, instinctual firing is not going to work well for me with this gun. So let's talk about the sights real quick. We have a pretty prominent front sight made out of stainless steel, and then a U-notch in the back that is built into the frame. So that's what I'm going to be aiming with now. I'm going to go old school, one-handed. These guns were not really designed to be shot two-handed. It's a one-hand style grip. This is back when they were called hand guns, not hands guns. So I will shoot this one-handed, and then, but I'm going to use the sights. Going for A-zone hits as fast as I can at 5 yards. Okay, I have tried several times to get a clean run on video, but I have failed. I have failed because of a quirk of the single action gun that is really hurting my cause. So I'm going to show you guys. I have a fired casing in the gun here. I'm going to close this up and I'm going to lock it. Okay, so the cylinder is not locked. All right. If I cock the gun back slowly and deliberately and fire the next cylinder, I open it up and you can see the round is in there. It's moved over from this position to this position, right? All right, let's reset it. All right, open up the gate. You can see the round is in that position. Now, when I fan it, cowboy style. Oh yeah, I need to close that up. Where's the round? The round has traveled all the way to the bottom of the cylinder. Oh yeah, I fanned it one time. It should have moved one cylinder over. Fan it again. Where is it this time? Right up near the top. So this gun, these old guns, if you actually hit the hammer too hard, this gun is skipping cylinders on me. That's why I can't get a clean run where I fire 6 shots in a row, because I'm running the gun too energetically because I'm excited to be a cowboy. How would that work for you in a self-defense scenario? Is an 1873 enough, even with iron sights? Sorry, Grandpa. All right, so the Colt 45 was an absolute failure. So let's try a Colt 45. Now we've skipped ahead. Now we're in the World War II era. This is actually a TSOS copy. Yes, I'm a giant TSOS fan because they're great for the money. This is basically a 1911 A1, circa World War II, but affordable. I cannot afford a real one. This one runs fine, and it has everything that you love and hate about the old school World War II 1911. Hate includes getting hammer bite on the hammer a little bit if you grip it wrong, and hate definitely includes these sights. These are original style sights. They're incredibly low profile. The front sight is just like a tiny little hump that's like a tenth of a dime that they put on the top of the slide, and a very fine U-notch in the back. So you know what? I didn't have a successful run with the Peacemaker. So you guys have seen those old World War II training videos, right? Where they have the guy shooting like this with the tracer ammo.
This is combat firing. Quick, automatic, and accurate.
Right? Let's try it. Okay, so let's try that out. Here we go. We're going to do instinctual fire again with another Colt 45 from 1945. Haha, that was fun. And I shot 6 rounds in a row successfully. Let's see how we did. All right, you don't have time to see your sights in real life. Let's do some point shooting. We have 0 hits on paper at all. Okay, all right. So that guy would have got me. Let's try this guy. I've got 2 hits on paper. 1 there. That's a miss. It's on paper, but it's actually a miss. So, I don't know. I shot him in the hip. That counts for something. And then this guy, I've got 1 shot just underneath the A zone. 0 hits in the A zone. And 2 hits actually on the bad guy's body out of 6 shots fired. Point shooting, instinctual style. Okay, with apologies to your uncle who told you won't have time to see the sights in a real fight, I think I'm done point shooting for the day because it's terrible. Like, if that's good enough for you, then I don't know what to tell you. You're not in the same reality as I am. Completely unaccountable, legally dangerous. I can't call my shots. I can hardly get it. It's terrible. We're going to use the sights from now on. Furthermore, even though this is the World War II gun, I'm not going to go straight World War II style with it. I'm going to actually, because World War II style would be, hand in the back pocket, one hand, this stuff, right? And we know that's going to be slow. All right. So I'm going to shoot with my modern technique, just like I'm shooting Glock, just like I'm shooting my Walther PDP, whatever it is. I'm running the World War II gun, but I'm running it 2025 style. 2 shots in the A zone of each target at 5 yards from the draw. And I'm going to use the sights as small as they are. Oh, thank you. Okay. My draw to first shot time was 2.68. Like, you could time that with a sundial. Terrible, awful draw to first shot time. I'm going to go ahead and blame the sights for that. It took me a really long time to find the front sight, align it with the rear sight, get myself set. Once I had my front sight acquired and I had everything lined up, almost 3 seconds later, I was able to take my shots, do my transitions, and basically work within recoil to reacquire the sight. But acquiring the sight in the first place took me 2.68 seconds. However, once I found it, let's see how we did. Yes! Look at that. Look at that beautiful double right there in the A zone. Stacked them right on top of each other. So if I did that, I can go a little bit faster with the next one. Bam, bam, right in the A zone. Let's go even faster. Let's do it again. Bam, bam, right in the A zone. Now, what's probably happened is this is probably my first shot, and then this is probably my second shot on both of these because I'm coming back, I'm resetting in recoil, and as soon as I see the front sight come down back into the notch, I'm letting fly, probably a little high. Or maybe on the second shot, I'm snatching the trigger and the second shot's a little bit low. I don't know. It could be either way. But I've got a little bit of a vertical spread, but that's okay. I'm still in the A zone. I have 6 shots in the A zone for the first time today in 6.95 seconds. World War II is over. We've won the war. Now we got to win the piece. So let's pull out the old cop revolver. Let's go back to the wheel guns, right? Our first wheel gun was a failure. I like revolvers. Let's try again. So this is a gun that I love very much. This is an N-frame Smith Model 28 Highway Patrolman, and it's about as old as I am, circa 1970, right? So we have an adjustable rear sight, which is awesome. We have a front sight that I have painted orange so I can see it easier. So now we're at adjustable iron sights and a high visibility front sight. Gotta be better than the old World War II 1911, right? And we've got a 38 specials in here, so not a lot of recoil. This gun will digest 357 Magnum without a problem, but I shoot 38s through it because that's what I hand load and they're cheaper. I'll show you this old school cop revolver I have for it. Even though these guns were double action, they trained single action like cowboy style, and the double action was really more of like a restrike capability or in a panic up close. But hilariously to me, contrary to modern safety protocol whatsoever, this holster has an open trigger guard, which at that time was considered essential so you could get your finger on the trigger while it's still in the holster. Great idea. We have to be able to do that. Yikes. If you came out with that design today in 2025, they would laugh you out of the room. But that was how it was in the 60s and 70s. So now we're in the 1960s, we're in the 1970s, and we've got a cop revolver. Same drill. Adjustable iron sights with a high visibility front sight, 2 shots on each target, 5 yards. Let's do this. Notice I'm out of ammo. So I hope I got all 3 of those guys. Let's take a look. Pulled a little low right here, but there's 1, 2 in the A zone. Look at these beauties. 1, 2, I hit that 0. Perfect shot. A zone. And finally, look at that. 1, 2 in the A zone. Yes. Total time. Whoa. Not as good. Total time, first shot 291, and a total time of 6:57. That's golly gee, that's slower than 1 second per shot. I'm pretty happy with my accuracy with the revolver. The speed was not that great, but you can be accurate with a double action revolver. It just takes a little bit of time. Is that time fast enough for you? Is that all you need? Have we gotten to the point where you're happy and you don't want to go any faster than that? Or you want to try to go a little faster? I want to try to go a little faster. I'm kind of, in case you haven't noticed, I'm a little bit competitive. And it's funny because the first part of this video, those guns are supposed to look slow and bad. So the gun with the dot can look cool later, right? And I'm still just like, dang it, I could go faster than that. Man, why am I taking so long? So like, I'm not gaming this. Like, I'm kind of upset with how slow I've been because I don't want them to look that bad. And I love these old guns, but the times are the times. I'm just glacially slow compared to what I'm used to. Let's see if we can catch up a little bit. So I have here another cop gun. We're now in the late 1980s. Glock is starting to make inroads. The first Glocks are coming out, but a lot of people don't trust those plastic pistols, Tupperware pistols. They're going to break. They're not going to last. Stupid Glock. What do the Austrians know about making guns? What you need is a real American-made stainless steel beast of a gun. This thing's not going to break on you like a plastic-framed gun will. This is a Smith 5906. Third generation Smith & Wesson DASA gun, traditional double-action gun with Novak-style sights. So I now have 3-dot sights. These are actually night sights, so this was the upgrade, but this gun is so old that they're dead. The night sights no longer glow in the dark. So I'm just going to use it as a standard Novak-style Sight picture is daytime anyway, so night sights are irrelevant. We're chambered in 9mm, 15 rounds. We're almost to the modern era of pistols here. This is still a very good gun, and you could use this for home defense today, except that you can't put a light on it. It's a whole different thing. This was a standard cop gun. Smith sold these by the thousands, and I love it. I will fire the first round double action, and then it will cock itself on subsequent shots, and the subsequent shots will be single action. But I have to make sure not to pull that first double action shot because it's long and heavy. Come on, Mike, go fast, get your hits. Let's decock it. That's safe. That's decocked but on fire. And then we reholster. All right. First shot, 2.12. Total time, 4.67. 4.67. I was able to track the irons a lot better with those Novak iron sights. First shot is nicely in the A zone, or one of the shots is. The second shot is up here in the shoulder, right by where one of my unaimed fire shots was. Trying too hard to go fast, maybe. Same thing happened here on the next one. I'm in single action now. One shot in the A zone. One shot up by the neck. Out of the A zone. I'm still on paper. Nobody wants to get shot in the neck. And then finally, I got 2 A zone hits with a little bit of practice. One there and one there for a total of 6 shots in 4.67 seconds. Welcome to the present day. It is now 2025, and I am appendix carrying a Glock 19 Gen 5 with a Gideon Optics granite carry with a 3 MOA green dot on it. So we're now in present day. We're all the way caught up, and now this is a modern day concealed carry as we know it, in September 2025. Now, I've shot everything else from open today, so I'm going to cheat a little bit. I've got my shirt tucked in, so I'm not going to have to get my cover garment out of the way. So I'm kind of shooting from appendix open, but I think that's fair considering everything else we've done. 2 rounds per target, 5 yards, same drill as before. Let's see how the green dot treats us for speed and accuracy. Notice when I reholster, I can reholster safely with appendix because I actually pull my stomach, my fat belly out of the way, and I can look the gun into the holster and make sure that there's nothing in the holster that could cause my trigger to depress accidentally. It's actually safer for me than carrying back here because I have a really hard time twisting my body around to look myself into the holster. With appendix carry, I can tilt back like this and I can look the gun to the holster. If it did go off with my body positioned this way, the round would hit the dirt in front of me. I would not shoot myself in the leg or anything else because on the reholster, I'm leaning back like this. Free pro tip. Take a class. Let's see how we did. Okay, it's really hard to see, but I've got one there and one there. I stacked them again higher. No, there it is. I have one there and one here. Slightly to the right of the 0, stacked about like that. This is a really happy spot for me today. I don't know what's going on. Something grip, but multiple guns have landed shots there now on my first target. Target number 2. One down there. 2, A zone. Target number 3. One up here, and this guy right here, A zone. Ugh, and I'm sharpieing up my hands. First shot, 1.85. That's the fastest draw to first shot today. Total time 4.53. 1.85 draw to first shot. Total time 4.53. So I'm well underneath 1 second per shot. I have finally done a fast and clean run today. Thank you to the Glock 19 and the Gideon Granite Carry. Bonus round. Just for fun, let's do a race gun. This is my, again, TSOS single stack Night Stalker, comped 1911 in 9mm. You can see the size of the bushing comp on this. It is quite effective. We are now mounting the Gideon Judge XL with a red 6 MOA dot. Single action only, very fine trigger, very light recoiling gun, and this is what I would call a race gun. Could you carry this? Absolutely, yes you could. But like the name of the video says, do you really need all that? So let's see if I can go even faster with this gun than I did with the Glock. And this is my first run, performance on demand. One run, win or lose. Let's go. All right. I think reusing the paper targets has messed me up. I've got a double in here somewhere, I bet. Let's see how the others did. All right, I'm slightly out of the A zone with this one. Pulled slightly right. That's a down one. That's A zone there. Yeah, and then I pulled low right again. That's grip. That's Mike needing to work on his grip. 1, 2. But the time is 3.86 with a first shot of 2.1. But I've got 6 shots on target with a couple barely pulled outside the A zone in 3.86 with a single action comp 9mm and a dot.
Okay, so now we get to the part of the video where I do a half hour of deep dive statistical analysis comparing the pros and cons from the performance of each gun and the various sighting systems. No, I'm just messing with you. Can you imagine how terrible that would be? I would not do that to you. Instead, let's just do a drag race. We're going to compare the performance of the two 1911s that I shot today. They're both 1911s. The World War II spec gun with the low-profile iron sights and the modernized race gun that's in 9mm instead of 45. Both guns were on my right hip in holsters that I don't have a lot of practice with, but my draw to first shot was 20% faster with the Judge XL dot sight than it was with those small iron sights. Later on, I was faster with other iron sight guns that are easier for my eyes to see, but honestly guys, nothing is as quick for me as a dot sight in a large window. With the race gun, my dot never leaves the window, and as soon as it bounces back down into the A zone, I squeeze off the second shot very quickly. Part of that is being in 9mm instead of in 45, and part of it is having the comp, which is super cool. But also, a big part of it is acquiring and reacquiring my front sight, or the dot, with a high degree of confidence, a high enough degree of confidence to take the next shot. And knowing that I can fire another shot as soon as that dot is back on target is a huge advantage. My total time with the race gun is almost half the total time with the World War II gun. And yes, I had just a couple of hits outside the A zone. I could have done the drill again and again until I was even faster and more accurate, but you guys know that's not how I am. I keep it real, I'm honest with you guys. Those were the only 6 shots I fired through the race gun all day long. So I'd bet if I'd shot the drill 5 times in a row and just kept the best one, I probably could achieve a total run of about 3.5 seconds clean. But honestly, what does that show you that I haven't already shown you? So in conclusion, no, you don't need a red dot. As long as you have a gun capable of successfully firing 6 shots in a row, you can do the same drill I did with some success. But if you want to be as fast as possible and as accurate as possible, then yes, you need a dot sight. It does make a massive difference. And I know a good company that's run by some decent folks who can get you a deal on one. Visit us at GideonOptics.com and happy shooting.